When Sam Shepard writes a play about the quest for identity, a dysfunctional family, and a dysfunctional society, he anchors the family in a very particular time and place. In Buried Child, they are the late 20th century and a farmhouse on the Illinois prairie. He also anchored his play in timeless and universal myths, Oedipus, the Fisher King, fertility rites. Shepard fashioned a prose poetry in both his language and his dramatic construction that can contain the breadth of his creation. The surrealism of his early work still lurks, but almost hidden. When young Vincent returns after 6 years to his ancestral home with his girlfriend Shelley, he finds that home in pretty bad shape. On the couch slumps the lord of the manor, Vincent's grandfather Dodge, drunk and watching TV. Vince and Shelley were on their way to visit Vincent's father Tilden in the New Mexico desert, where he had retreated from troubles at home, bringing together two of Shepard's favorite influences, the Midwest and the Southwest. Vince decided to stop in Illinois on the way, promising to introduce New Yorker Shelley to the real, essential America in all its glory. Shelley soon believes that Vince has brought her to the wrong house. When Dodge claims not to know who Vince is, Shelley is convinced. Convinced further when Tilden, the father she and Vince were on their way to visit, enters from the farmyard. He'd had to leave New Mexico. He also does not recognize his son Vince. But who knows what he recognizes? He's vague, childlike, barely there. Something must have happened in New Mexico. Tilden also brings in armloads of corn and carrots from the farm, land that Dodge says hasn't been cultivated in 30 years. Tilden must have stolen the corn and carrots from a neighbor. But the steady rain and the child buried on the farm have restored fertility to the land, or so it seems. Shelley also gets to meet Tilden's younger brother, the menacing Bradley, who has lost a leg to a chainsaw and who terrifies her. By morning, Dodge's wife, Vince's grandmother, Hallie, returns from a night with the Episcopal minister, Father Dewis. She does recognize Vince, signaling that he does have a place in the family and will have a more significant one. Under co-directors Benjamin Matt Zeitler and Benjamin Hunt's intelligent and careful guidance, the cast did Shepard well. Steve Garrett performed his finest as the drunken old curmudgeon Dodge. Camille Fensterman's Hallie dominated. Bill Conklin made feckless Tilden almost lovable, though the gravelly voice he adopted for the aggressive Bradley made Kelvin Erday sometimes difficult to understand. Bradley regressed comically into a mama's boy when his artificial leg was stolen. Richard Matt Zeitler's Father Dewis tried to be a moderating and reconciling figure, but that was beyond him. Ashley Downs made Shelley both fearful and brave, and the sanest person around. Duncan Phillips Vince was almost too single-mindedly determined. He sometimes let his vocal projection fade, most unfortunately in Vince's brilliant speech about his late-night drive into Iowa and back, seeing his ancestors' faces reflected in his face in the car's windshield. Richard Matt Zeitler designed the dilapidated set, Kara Richardson designed lights, Benjamin Hunt costumes and makeup. This is the second piece we've seen from the new to St. Louis Myriad Productions. Both have been extremely well done.
Yes, I think it's Vince's return that restores the fertility, but what a wonderful thing it is to be able to think and see this show again, because it is so rich.
Yeah, very rich piece.
I hope you like the reviews on Two on the Aisle. You can click here to see other reviews and to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to be reminded immediately after we post. Enjoy the reviews.